Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Thursday today, and I'm on a little earlier today than I normally am. Normally it's 2 o'clock Pacific on Thursdays. But today I'm off to my craft fair, the only craft fair I'm doing this year. It's a big day in Ladysmith. Where I live. So Ladysmith is about a town of maybe 9 or 10,000 people on Vancouver Island. And every year we do, it's called Festival of Lights, and there's a light up parade. So Santa arrives at 6:30 and he flips the switch and the lights are turned on Main Street. And it's this kind of magical Main Street with all of the lights on. They do an amazing job. And as part of that, there's a craft fair. So I'm off to that at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Well, actually a little earlier to get set up. It's the only one I'm doing this year. So I'm kind of excited. So if you live local to me and you're coming to see Festival of Lights, big word, drop in to the craft fair and see what's going on there. All right, so today I wanted to show you every month, if you place a $50 order with me, I send you a make and take kit with enough to make 3 cards. And I want to show you what those 3 cards are. And so you'll know how to make them. And then if you want to purchase the stamp set that I've used, you can do that. Now I'm giving you a sneak peek from the upcoming January to April mini catalog. It's a bundle called Stippled Roses, and there is some coordinating designer series paper with it that you can get for celebration. So if you purchase the bundle, you can get the add-on designer series paper. Gosh, I'm tripping over my words this morning. Still early, I think. So I wanted to show you how to make these cards so that when you get the make and take kit, you'll be able to put them together. If you don't have the bundle stamp set, you can always substitute one that you do have. So you will have everything you need to do the stamping and the extra bits, but you just have to use your own stamp. Okay, let me switch over and I will show you. So first of all, let me get this in focus. It takes a minute to get my hands in here and start moving, and it'll start to focus, I hope. So this is the Stippled Roses. Come on, focus. It's very blurry for me. Hopefully it's not as blurry for you, but let's see. There we go. That's a little bit better. So this is the Stippled Roses bundle. So it is a rubber stamp. Yeah, rubber stamp. And these images are 85%. So the images are actually bigger than what they appear. Some really nice sentiments. So thanks, congratulations, birthdays. And then here's one, perfect, Mother's Day, because it comes up in May very quickly, at least to catch up on me. So this is the stamp set. And then there is the bundle, the dies that go with it that you can cut out, of course, the stamped images. And then you have these extra dies that will cut out little bits. Now, if you know me, you know I love putting little extra bits of stems and things behind sentiments and other images. Okay, so that's the bundle. Now, let me show you this amazing designer series paper. It is called, let me tell you what it's called, Softly Stippled. It's 12 by 12 designer series paper, and it's a free with a $60 order in Canada. And it's just so pretty. So you've got Pool Party, and on the other side looks like some fabric, very pretty. This one, my favorite, with the Wild Wheat, Calypso Coral, Pebble Path, and on the other side just kind of like textured. And then some very subtle, lovely roses, and on the other side again fabric texture. And it looks like the floor in my craft space. And then these leaves in Wild Wheat, and on the back, Pool Party. And this one is all sorts of roses, so you could cut these out. The die I think is too big for this one, but you can fussy cut this. And then on the back side again, some more of that texture. Oh, and then the last one, which is also very pretty, Pool Party and Wild Wheat. And then on the back side, some Wild Wheat. Good morning, Marjorie. So that's the paper. Again, it's free during celebration. So these are sneak peeks from the upcoming celebration catalog. And this is free with a $60 order. Okay, so I'm going to put those off to the side. So let me show you. I don't have the cards made, so we're going to do what I normally do and make these cards up as I go. I've got everything cut out, so I have ideas. Okay, so I've got a piece of pebbled path. So the make and take kit will include all of this. So I've got, it's 4 1/4 by 11, so we'll score it at 5 1/2. And as always, fold into the mountain or the raised line. Like that. Now I've got a piece, one of my favorite color combinations is Pebbled Path and Moody Mauve. And so I've got a piece of Moody Mauve that's 4 inches by 5 1/4 that I have embossed using the Distress Tile embossing folder. This is being carried over. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. It's such a pretty paper. And yeah. All right. So we're just going to adhere this piece of, I think I'm almost out of glue here. Hopefully I've got another one in my drawer. Okay, so we'll adhere that on like that. Now I went ahead and cut out a piece of this designer series paper. And I didn't fussy cut it because I just wanted to show you it really is easy to fussy cut. I'm just kind of going, just leaving a little bit of white, steering with the hand that's holding the paper, not worrying if I get a little closer in spots, some spots than others. But I thought that this paper that was the wild wheat color would make, you could cut out all sorts of those images. Even some of the ones that are right up against the edge, you could put, cut out and put on the edges of your cards. But this was a piece of the designer series paper that caught my eye first. So we're going to keep this card pretty simple. Just going to put this piece of, now you could use it exactly the way it is with the pebbled path, which would be really pretty. But I thought that it would be, I pulled out some of my watercolor pencils. So I thought maybe just adding a little bit of color to this would be pretty. Now I don't have a Moody Mauve. I don't know if there probably isn't a Moody Mauve watercolor, but I've got Melon Mambo, and I just thought a little bit of the Melon Mambo, not too dark, just adding a little bit of color to these flowers. So I'm just doing a circular motion. It's kind of hard to tell what's a flower and what's leaves, but and then I've got a blending brush. No, not a blending brush, a blender pen. Hopefully it's not complete. No, it's not dried out. So it's quite bright. Actually, I should have gone a little lighter on it because it is quite pink, but that's okay. So I'm just going to take and color. I like using a blender pen when I use watercolor pencils, as opposed to the water painters, because I can control the amount of water or liquid I get on my piece, because these, well, there's another flower. So let's see if I can go just a little lighter on that flower. This is just regular designer series paper, and it won't hold the liquid like, say, Fluid 100 watercolor. And if you don't want to use any liquid, or the blender pen, which is glycerin, I think, you don't have to. You can kind of just leave it. You can just color a little bit and leave it. But I just kind of thought this, if I do this again, I would try and keep the pink just a little lighter than what I did on that original flower, but that's okay. So there we go. We'll put that on. And I did do some like I told you, I love to cut out and have little bits of stems. So we'll do that. And then I'm going to stamp the sentiment using Pebbled Path, if I can find my Pebbled Path. There it is. Oops. So there it is. I lost for a minute my my stamp set and dies because I had it underneath my paper trimmer. So I'm going to use the sentiment that says congratulations. Again, if you get this, well, that's for the inside of the card. We don't want to stamp on that. We want to stamp on this. If you get the Make and Take kit and you don't have this bundle, although this is definitely one I think you want to add to your wish list. So we're just going to take and stamp the congratulations. And then there is a little flower that we can stamp. Need a bigger stamp block. So we're going to stamp this in Moody Mauve. Let's just see which way this goes. Let's do it that way. For the inside of the card. So that's a pretty easy card. A little bit of fussy cutting, a little bit of coloring. So I'm not going to fussy cut around because I already did that. So I'm just going to take, so if you didn't want to just cut, I don't worry that it's not straight and not even. I kind of like it like that. In fact, I really messed up there, but that's okay. You can cut a rectangle and stamp on it. But let's just take a little bit of glue. I'm going to have to, oopsie, now I got a lot of glue. Gosh, that was, see if I can spread some of this glue out so it doesn't splodge all over the place. Okay, so let's put that like there. And let's see, there's some dimensionals. Got these dimensionals where the backing is coming off as I pull it, so I don't know if I got them wet. So let's just put that. Don't know which way that goes, but let's put it like that. And I hate to cover those pretty roses. Maybe we'll put it down there. So I'm going to have to, actually, I think that's fine. We'll put a dimensional on the one end and just some glue on the other end and put that there. And then the embellishments that I've picked. So if you place an order, what stamp is this? Or what set is this? This is called Stippled Roses. It is a sneak peek from the upcoming January to April mini catalog. So it's a bundle, comes with dies and the stamp set. And then this was designer series paper that I used that is a celebration item. So again, if you do put an order in with me in December, gosh, we're already coming up on December, for $50, you will get the 3 make and takes, but you will also, if it's $75 or more, you will get a package of these flat adhesive back flat pearls that I just absolutely love and thought they would be really pretty with this suite. Okay, so that's the first card that it would be in the make and take kit. Definitely running out of ink in that. Again, if I was going to make this again, I would go a little lighter on the flower that I did with the watercolor pencils. But okay, so that's the first card. So the second card is, I've got a piece of Pool Party, and I cut a piece of the Pool Party Designer Series paper like that. So this Pool Party is 5.5 by 8.5. And we'll score it at 4 1/4. I always just pull paper out of my, oh, no, that's right, out of my stash if I have it. And so that one almost looked a little bit too big. Okay, so folded it, I embossed, scored it at 4 1/4, folded into the mountain, and burnished on that score line. Now I've cut a piece of, again, this is basic white, and I've embossed it using the Distressed Tile embossing folder. And then I cut a piece of this pretty Pool Party that is part of the Designer Series paper. And we're going to glue that on, but I'm going to grab another glue because I'm pretty sure that one I've got is pretty much done. Okay. So we'll just adhere that on like that. Now I thought that the ribbon that would be pretty with this is I was so excited to see, this is the white and silver sheer ribbon. And I was excited to see that it is carrying over. So if you don't have it, it's still available and will be available probably as an online exclusive because it isn't in the new catalog. So it probably will be available as an online exclusive starting in January, but it's still available now. So this is this really lovely silver and white ribbon. Okay, so that's for the inside of my card. Now, I think what I'm going to do is stamp these leaves, and I'm going to cut them out. There is a die, so I really like these leaves, and we're going to stamp them in Pool Party. Really nice subtle color. So when I have a really big image that I ink up, I often ink it from the top when it's kind of about the size of my ink pad. It just makes it easier. So we're just going to have a really subtle leaves. And while we have our ink out, I'm going to stamp. I'm going to make this a Mother's Day card. So we'll just stamp that there. Oh, and we might as well stamp something while we have our ink open. And so this is the inside of the card. So I'm just going to stamp those leaves on the inside of the card. Okay. Now let's find my die. So there is a die that will cut out this big leaf. So I'm going to use just a little bit of Post-it note tape to hold that on. Like that. And I'm just going to cut it out. Stamp and cut and emboss machine over to the side. There we go. Cut it out in just a minute. Okay, so let's well, I guess it'll have to go like that. Let's cut this out. You can punch your sentiment out, or you can fussy cut it, or you could use a die. So I'm just kind of quickly, like I said, when I fussy cut, I don't really worry about whether I get closer to some edges than others. And I am steering with the hand that's got the paper. So I'm steering the paper and not the scissors. That's the trick to fussy cutting. Okay, so let's just tie a little bow. This ribbon is so pretty, and this ribbon colors really nicely. So I've got the dark pool party, and if you just take your brush end of your Stampin' Blend, you can kind of gently color. Now it's going to be really subtle with this pool party, but that's okay. I think it will look lovely. So I'm just taking and coloring and moving down. Be gentle, because doing this when you color embellishments in your ribbon, it can damage the tip after a while if you do a lot of it. So just go very gently. Hi, Crystal. So I've colored it. Now it's very, very subtle, but I think it'll look pretty. So let's tie a bow. Ideally, you want to let this dry. It is alcohol markers, so it does dry fairly quickly. But if you don't let it dry, you can get, especially if you use a really dark color, you can get ink on your hands. There we go. Isn't that a pretty bow? All right, so we can start putting our card together. I didn't glue this down because I wasn't sure if I was going to wrap ribbon around, but I'm not. Make sure I've got the opening going the right way. I love this Pool Party Designer Series paper. Pool Party is one of my favorite colors. Now, I have dimensionals. Yes, there they are. That. Now I also did cut out a bunch of the die cuts ahead of time from using the dies. So I've got some in basic white and some in old olive. So I think I want just a bit of texture behind this. So I'm just going to use a glue dot to adhere this on. And I had the white one. There it is. The white one disappeared on me. The other white one. Okay, let's do that. So I'm just going to kind of put these above and below. I just like texture behind stamped images. There we go. So we'll just do like that. You can glue those down more if you want. I quite like it when the die cuts are kind of free floating. Like I said, I got some. The backing keeps coming off. All right, so this is for Mother's Day. Let's put that there. And then let's take this pretty bow and use a glue dot and put it on. Like that. And of course we need some embellishments because the ribbon isn't enough. So let's do some more of these flat pearls. There we go. Here's the big ones. So let's do this big one, a little one, and another big one. And somewhere I have my inside of my card. And so this will adhere on the inside. Gosh, this is pretty. Now you can, I just noticed, so this leaf has some bits that poke out, and one of them has poked out. But you can leave some of them that are poked out and some are left in if you want, just however you want it to go. Tuck that down underneath there. Isn't that pretty? Really subtle. Quite like that one. Okay, one card to go. So this one, I love this paper. This is another one of the sheets of Designer Series paper. It is Calypso Coral, Pebbled Path, and Wild Wheat. And so I thought I would again use the Pebbled Path. And let's take it. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. And we'll score it at 5 1/2. I have a very small workspace, and you wouldn't believe how messy it gets after a while. All right, so Pebbled Path, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and then folded on the scored line into the mountain and burnished. Now, I cut a piece of the Designer Series paper, 3 3/4 by 5, and then the Calypso Coral is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we'll adhere that down. Even. So I'm going to put just some of the ribbon on this. Now I do want to, it's hard to tell where I actually colored that, but I can feel it wet. So I'm going to just trim off that end so that I don't have a pool party on it. Got glue on my fingers. Now I'll show you a way to tie. Sometimes tying a bow when you wrap it around is hard. So leave a fairly long tail. Tie your bow. Oops. Come on. Through there. Tie your bow. Get your bow how you want it to be. I want just a small little bow. Like that. And then you can take, I use a glue dot to wrap that, hold that in place. But then you can use, wrap it around the back of your card. Here's my glue dots. So I'll use a glue dot to hold my bow in place where I want it. So we'll just put that like that. Now I left a fair amount of tail on it just because I didn't want to jip myself. Sometimes I can do that. So you can trim this off. Now I like to use Stampin' Seal when I've wrapped ribbon around the back of my card. I find the Stampin' Seal holds that ribbon. You can use some tear and tape over top of your ribbon as well. Oh gosh, come on, you can do this. There we go. To hold it in place. But I find that the Stampin' Seal works really well. So we'll just take that and wrap my ribbon. And then you can kind of fuss with the ribbon and get it going in the direction you want. So I like to use Stampin' Seal on the back as well after I've got my ribbon in place. And I kind of even go over the ribbon just to do it. But if you want to use tear and tape over top of your ribbon to hold it, that works. All right, so there's this, this Designer Series paper is so pretty. I'm not going to do much to this. I am going to stamp a sentiment in Calypso Coral, if I can find some space. Calypso Coral. So for this one, let's use the sentiment. Which sentiment shall we use? Let's use the sentiment that says sending thanks. Fits in that little bit there. Oh, and while I have my ink open, let's stamp those flowers. Now make sure you clean off your ink or your stamp pad or your stamp. What's the word? Too early in the morning. I'm not used to being on doing lives this early in the morning. All right, let's stamp the flower like that on the inside of the card. And then let's take and fussy cut. Fussy cut. Find some scissors to fussy cut. So this one, I'm just going to take and cut a rectangle. And you can trim it a little bit so that it's straight-ish. Sometimes cutting it so it's not obviously straight. That one definitely needs to be straightened. And if that bothers you, just cut a rectangle or use a die or a punch. All right, so I cut some of these pieces, these die cuts, out of old olive. So let's see. Let's use that one. Okay, I'm going to use glue dots to put these on. So I'll probably put another glue dot on this, but let's get one in place so it holds it where I want it to go, like that. And then we'll use dimensionals to hold our sentiment on. Like that. Now, my sentiment's quite wobbly, and that always bothers me because it's on top of ribbon, and the ribbon is a bit wobbly. So let's try and add another one, tuck another one so that it sticks down and doesn't wobble. That's better. Okay. Now, embellishments. Embellishments, where are they? Here's some embellishments. So those are the big ones. And here's the little ones. These are so pretty. These came out last year in the January to April mini as part of the By the Bay suite. I just absolutely love them. I was so excited that they carried over. There we go. All right, let's move some stuff out of the way. Let's pull the cards back in. If you can find. Like I said, I have the biggest mess here, and I cannot. Oh, there it is. Goodness sakes. I really need bigger space when I do my filming. So those are the 3 cards that are made using the Stippled Roses. There's the case. The Stippled Roses stamp set that is coming up in the new January to December mini catalog, or January to April mini catalog. And these will be the 3 make and take kits that anyone will get if they place a $50 order with me during December. You'll get the make and take kit and the designer series paper to make the cards. If the order is $75 or more, you'll get a package of the embellishments to use. And if you want to, in January, order the Stippled Roses bundle and get the designer series paper, it's a great thing to add to your wish list. So the new catalog comes out for customers starting on January 4th. If you're a demonstrator, we will be able to start ordering from it on December 5th. I was able to order early as a perk for attending On Stage, which is a Stampin' Up! convention that was held in November. So demonstrators get to order early, which is one of the main perks for me about being a demonstrator. So if you can't wait till January and you're interested in being able to order early, talk to me, because one of the big perks is being able to get at these products earlier than customers. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me for a little early morning stamping. I will not be live, of course, at 2 o'clock today because I will be at the craft fair, but I will be back live on Saturday at 11 a.m. with a project for you. So I hope you'll join me then. Thanks, everybody. Happy stamping. Bye.